Monday, September 30th, 2024. I'm Larissa. Time has come. Drink from skulls. Yeah, I'm starting over again here. Yeah, time has come. Time has come to drink from skulls. So yesterday I took a whole mess of psyllium husk fiber and an intestine cleanse supplement. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm cleaning myself out, I guess. Anyway, yeah. It's a good thing to do every now and then, you know? And yesterday, gave myself a little hair treatment and dusted and did laundry. And, oh, November issue went to print yesterday. It did. November issue went to print. It's all about bread. It is. The issue's about bread and land. Yeah, and I also made some bread yesterday. I made some of my hot fat ass pockets. Larissa's hot fat ass pockets. Fat girl makes her own hot pockets. Yes, I do. My homemade hot pockets. They're better than anything you get at the store. Yeah, much better than actual hot pockets. Yeah, yeah. So I made two varieties. I made sweet one, ricotta, mascarpone, and dried tart cherries and orange marmalade. And when I was done filling them, Brody got to lick that bowl. He thought he had died and gone to heaven. He's like, what did I do to deserve that? And he had mascarpone cheese, like all on his whiskers, around his face and his ears. And he was like, he went over and he was like wiping his face and then licking his feet, get it all off of his face. It was so funny. It was so funny because he had to stick his face down in the bowl. No worry, Omar scrubs everything gets disinfected. It does. It gets disinfected. Super, super hot water. Yeah. And soap and everything. And then I made filling that had chanterelles, which I couldn't believe. Like, it's like way early. I think they were cultivated. They were all small and they were all like real regularly shaped. So they looked like cultivated mushrooms as opposed to wild foraged. And they had very, very, very little debris on them, which is also, usually when you get chanterelles that are wild foraged, when you open them up in they have a little, like a tube in the middle, right? From the top. When you cut those open, you get a lot of like pine debris down in there, and there wasn't. So I mean, there were just a couple little pieces, and like it was cultivated on some duff that was brought in or whatever. Yeah, so chanterelles, white button mushrooms, real young ones that were nice and tight, and king trumpets. So I sauteed those in some oil with with garlic and herb de Provence and some salt, and then I air fried 2 onions whole, and I cut those up and put them in the bowl, set them aside. Then I diced up a potato in little squares, and I air fried that, and I put that in with the onions, and then I sauteed artichoke hearts with the mushrooms and the herbs, and then I strained those, leaving the pot liquor in the pot, right, the mushroom pot liquor, and I put the sauteed mushrooms in with the onion. I didn't want the filling to be super wet, right? And because there's a lot of water that comes out of mushrooms when you saute them. Mushrooms are mostly water. Fungus is mostly water. Yeah. So all the pot liquor came off of that, and I saved the pot liquor for when I make soup this week. I'll probably make soup tomorrow. Anyway, Then I put the air fried potatoes, and I chopped up the air fried onion. It gets real sweet, and toss that in with the mushrooms, and I put some frozen peas in there, and then fresh parsley, and then I sprinkled it all with some potato starch, so it thickened up, made like gravy. And yeah, so that's the stuffing, and the other one with a chunk of cheese. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I tasted it. It was real good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's what's in my pockets. Yum. Whatever don't get et later on today will get frozen. They're all individually wrapped and in the refrigerator. And I like breathed in some dust or something. I just dusted yesterday. There shouldn't be a lot of dust around. Anyway, yeah. Those will get popped in the toaster oven and brought up to appropriate temperature before serving. It'll be good. So I'll have those and a salad, and it'll be serve yourself for anybody who decides to show up to my preview, which I don't think anybody's gonna come. I'm gonna have a big old stack of sandwiches. It's fine. I put them in the freezer, and then Omar has them to pop in the toaster oven for lunch when I'm not around. Right? Yeah. I made a dozen of each. So it's not like the time when I made. There was one time I made like, I don't know, 75 sandwiches. They did not all fit in the freezer. The ones I didn't couldn't fit in the freezer, I took them down to the police station, dropped them off. I said, "Here's some sandwiches." I gave them. It was something like 25 sandwiches that I couldn't fit in the freezer. My freezer was packed. I had all those sandwiches in there. Most of them were meat too, because I made them for Omar. Anyway, some of them had shrimp in them. Some of them had meat in them, and then there were some that were beans, black beans and cheese, and oh, that time. Oh, there were a whole bunch of them. There's a whole mess of them. Yeah. So I've been avoiding talking about the hurricane down there in the southeastern United States. Queen Helene, her mint julep mask, wiping the southeastern seaboard. Wow. Big mess, huh? Oh my goodness. Big mess. Big mess down there. Oh my God. Yeah. And people are going to have to start moving. Seriously. Yeah. I don't know. The other morning when there was the earthquake here, when the alarms went off on the phones and everything and woke me up, woke Omar up, and he's like, "Oh, it's an earthquake." I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And looked at my phone, and there was an alert that said, "Oh, find your shoes. There are frequently aftershocks." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I said to Omar, I said, "Maybe a big one will come, and we'll get buried and die." I went back to sleep. Had a horrible dream. Anyway, I don't know. I try to keep my conscience such that I'm ready to go whenever. Um, I wish I had better relationships with my family, but I don't think it's possible. And I don't think there's anything I can do about that because I have set a personal boundary for myself that I am not willing to go back on, and for my own personal health, and well-being, self-respect. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. My life has been very difficult. And you know, seeing the footage of the devastation from the hurricane. Oh, it's how I feel on the inside. Those images. It's how I feel on the inside. I feel like my inner landscape is devastated in that way. There's like nothing I can do as an individual for any of those people down there. And after these kinds of things happen, you know, you see all kinds of scams and bullshit and people virtue signaling, you know, self-absorbed people. Oh, I'm doing fundraisers and stuff, and very little of that money ever actually goes for those things, goes to stuff that's actually going on down there. And it's you know, you go down, people who do rush in, they're just like in the way of people who are actually down there doing search and rescue and things. And it's just, I don't know. I'm always very leery when you're like at the grocery store and there's people outside, you know, taking donations for shit. And um or even at the register when they say, you know, donate $5 for food for families. It's like, well, this food that I'm buying right now is for my family. Right? And it's just like, where's this money actually going? What is this? What is this? What is this, you know, shell organization that I'm paying for, you know, giving money to? It's just, you know. So there's that. I don't like that aspect of humanity, and it's disturbing to me. Looking at my Afghan on the bed here, it's got little sticks because jerk with four legs. Ugh, rubbed his sticks all over. He knew. Last night I told him because he went outside and he rolled around until he got his fur good and full of these little pieces of sticks and jaggers and all kinds of stickers in his furs. And I told him, I said, "You are a dirt bag," and he was all smelly. And then, you know, yesterday morning he was Pucosaurus. He wasn't Pucosaurus this morning, thank goodness. But told him he wasn't allowed on the bed. And then he got his dirty ass up on the bed when everybody was sleeping. I woke up this morning, he was all snuggled up and all pleased with himself. Oh my goodness. He was. He was all pleased with himself. He comes up and he stuck his nose up between my boobs and up in my face, and he's like licking, Mommy, I'm on the bed. Mommy, I'm on the bed. I'm like, you dirt ass. Told you weren't supposed to be on the bed. Now there's sticks everywhere. I have to wash the bedding. No. Yeah. Queen Helene wiping the southeast seaboard clean. I don't know. Craziness. How'd Puerto Rico fare? Hmm? What about Cuba? Oh, my foot. There's like a pain on the top of my foot, right above my bunion on my big toe. Like just above that, on like kind of like on the side. I don't know if I chipped the bone somehow. Like right where my flip-flop covers, right? Like right where that flip-flop, right across there. It's just feels like I've chipped the bone there. I keep on getting like a twinge of a pain there. I don't know, it hurts. Yeah. So I don't know if I talked about this before earlier or last week or not, but I saw the stories. There's supposed to be a strike of the on the eastern seaboard and the ports this week if they haven't come to union agreement, and said that the eastern seaboard, all the ports are going to back up. Whenever that happens, I always think about, you know, there's always some number of those containers on those boats that have smuggled people in them, right? And in those, some of those people are already dead, have died on the trip over. And the stink that has to come with that when you are stuck in, if you're stuck inside a metal fucking container with buckets that have piss and shit in them and probably vomit and period blood and anything else, right? And then you have couple bodies rotting in there, and then you have people that you know, bottled waters, and just, it has to be so gross. And how many of those people are going to be backed up now, have to wait even longer, and how many more are going to die? It's like, how many containers do they open up and find just like tons of dead people inside of? I always think about that. Whenever there's a backup at any of the ports, I always think about that. How many people are are in those containers? How many of those containers have people in them? Oh, yeah. Seriously, I think about that. Inhumane. Inhumane. Crazy. How desperate do you have to be to get inside a shipping container? How desperate do you have to be? Pretty damn desperate, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So why are there so many Haitian migrants right now? Why are there so many Haitians leaving Haiti? What I know Haiti's like a terrible place to live, right? Supposedly. I don't know, I've never been to Haiti. I've never been to Haiti, never been to the Dominican Republic. And honestly, I'm not interested, right? No. That has never appealed to me, right? I'm sure islands in the Caribbean are beautiful. I'm sure they are. But I would never ever go to any of them unless there was somebody specifically I was visiting, or I was going with somebody who was from there, right? Like Lemo used to always say, "Oh, you got to go to Trinidad with me. You have to go with me, though. You have to go with me." It's what he always said. If you guys go to Trinidad, let me know. And he said, "If you want to go, let me know, and I will take you. I will take you." And that would have been the only way I would have gone to Trinidad. Oh my God. I wouldn't just like go to Trinidad. I wouldn't. I wouldn't just go down to Jamaica. I just wouldn't do it. And it just seems intrusive to me. And I feel that way about most countries, right? Like, not just island nations, but like just travel in general. You know, I'm not a voyeur, right? And if I'm going someplace, there needs to be a reason that I'm going there. If I just need a relaxing weekend or whatever, like I'll spend that money here in the United States. I'll spend it in my own goddamn state, right? Like, I live in California, so there's beaches, right? Um, and Lord knows the economy could use it out here. Small businesses can use. I mean, why would I take my money outside? I just there's so many things I just don't understand. I don't I don't understand going and staying, because if you go to any of those countries like that, you have to stay at a resort, which for safety reasons, and those resorts are owned by American companies, right? Like, so it just doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm going to go somewhere, like I said, I want to go for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe, right? I want to go study something. I want to go make a series of artwork somewhere. I want to go learn something there. I want to have business there, right? If I don't got business in your country, I don't need to be coming to your country with no business, right? Got no business coming to your country, right? Exactly. It's what that means. I got no business there, right? Kind of shit. That kind of shit always just leads to problems. It does. Causes trouble. I don't need to be causing that kind of trouble. I got enough of my own trouble here. I don't need to be taking and finding trouble other places. That's the way I feel. That's the way I feel. Yeah. That's why there's so many Haitians here right now. What's going on in Haiti? Mhm. It's like that song Aiko Aiko. It's a voodoo song. Yeah. That whole song's about ritual. It's there's a voodoo ritual. It uses a substance that it's like people say, oh, is that the voodoo zombies? Well, it's a drug. It's a drug from a plant, and I believe it comes from a flower. Anyway, it's like a dust, right? Zombie dust. It's a drug, and it's used shamanically, right? And that song's about it's about that ritual. Aiko, Aiko. Yeah, like ayahuasca or peyote or opium or you know or not cocaine. Cocaine wasn't used that way. Cocoa, well, sort of. Cocoa was used for hunting ritual ritual before going hunting and preparing the body for hunting at high altitude. It's hard having your body up at high altitude for long periods of time. I can't. I get altitude sickness. Even if we go hiking, if then we get up the mountain too high, I start getting headaches. Yeah, I do. I totally do. Yeah. Yeah. This time of year and the veil is so thin. The veil is so thin between the worlds. I think that's why I've been seeing my grandma in my dreams a lot. My auntie, my mom. Yeah, she's been showing up in my dreams a lot. It's nice to see her. It is. It's always around this time of year that I see her, and it's around the time when she died. It's she and my pappers both went when the veil was thin. There's a lot of people that go when the veil's thin. Oh my. A lot of coming and going, a lot of traveling going on between worlds. My flag boy and your flag boy sitting by the fire. Anyway. Anyway. Hope your corn kernels float for you.